I've heard people say life can change in a heartbeat. I used to think they were being dramatic. That was before last Tuesday, before my world broke open with a single phone call. I'm Hannah Blake. I'm 32 years old, a mother, a widow, and someone who now understands how silence can scream louder than words. It was a normal morning. My husband Daniel had made Lily, our 8-year-old daughter, a breakfast of dinosaur-shaped pancakes while I packed her lunch. He kissed me on the forehead, ruffled Lily's hair, and said, "Don't forget the good maple syrup, none of that fake stuff, okay?" And then he was gone. At 10:47 a.m., my phone rang. It was Amanda, Daniel's assistant. Her voice shook so hard I could barely understand her. "Hannah, it's Daniel." He collapsed in the middle of a meeting. "They're taking him to Northwestern Memorial." I dropped my coffee mug. It shattered across the tile, a sound I still hear in my dreams. I don't remember the drive to the hospital. I only remember praying like I hadn't prayed in years, promising anything to a God I hadn't spoken to in forever. I begged. I pleaded. I offered my own heartbeat in place of his, but I was too late. Daniel died at 11:23 a.m. A massive heart attack. Sudden, they said. Quick. As if that was supposed to soften the blow. He was 35 years old. That night, Lily and I sat curled together on the couch, our hands locked tight. I didn't have the right words for her, only the truth, that Daddy wasn't coming home. I called my parents. Sobbing. Needing something. My mother answered with noise in the background, laughter, music, the clinking of silverware. "Hannah," she said, "we're in the middle of Sophia's birthday dinner. Can this wait until tomorrow?" I couldn't even answer. My throat closed. I hung up. And that silence? That was louder than the monitor beeping when they stopped trying to restart Daniel's heart. My family didn't come over. Didn't call back. They didn't show up for the funeral. They didn't send flowers. I kept waiting for someone to say, "We're sorry." No one did. Daniel and I met in college, Northwestern University. I was drowning in an econ class I never wanted to take. He was the charming, slightly sarcastic teaching assistant who offered to help me untangle depreciation curves. He explained it using oranges and a blender, and I passed my midterm. I fell in love with his patience first. Then his laugh. Then the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled like he was telling you a secret with his whole face. We dated all through college. He proposed during our graduation ceremony, hiding the ring inside my diploma case. I cried. He cried. It was ridiculous. And perfect. We married at 23, ignoring everyone who said we were too young. But I didn't care about too young. Daniel was my person. He made even hard things feel like adventures. After Daniel finished his MBA, he landed a job at a top financial advisory firm in Chicago. He was brilliant with numbers, yes, but he was better with people. He listened. Really listened. Clients trusted him because he didn't treat them like spreadsheets. We had 5 beautiful years together, just the two of us. Traveling. Building a life. Trying new restaurants. Dreaming out loud. Then we tried to have a baby. What we thought would be easy turned into 3 years of heartbreak. 2 miscarriages. 1 failed round of IVF. Doctors, needles, hormones, tears. We were exhausted. Just when we started researching adoption, I found out I was pregnant. Miraculously, naturally, it wasn't an easy pregnancy. I was on bed rest for the final 2 months. Daniel worked from home, waiting on me like I was royalty. He brought me breakfast in bed, rubbed my swollen feet, and read baby books in funny voices to my belly. When Lily was born, Daniel cried harder than I did. He held her like she was a treasure, and Daniel was that dad, the one who joined the PTA and coached soccer even though he'd never played. He watched YouTube tutorials late at night just to keep up with Lily's drills. He didn't just show up, he showed up with snacks, encouragement, and a first aid kit. He never missed a parent-teacher conference, a ballet recital, or a doctor's appointment. His work calendar was color-coded with every event in Lily's life. "She's my boss," he used to say. There were signs, though. Little ones. Chest pains. Shortness of breath. He blamed stress, said it was nothing, the doctor called it normal. For a man his age. Advised aspirin. Exercise. Less salt. We nodded, smiled, and went home. We thought we had time. Chapter 6, Aftertime is cruel. It stretches unbearably long in hospital waiting rooms. It contracts into a single punch when they say, he's gone. That week was a blur. The funeral. The arrangements. The sympathy cards from coworkers. The empty chair in our kitchen. My parents didn't come, they didn't even call to ask when the service was, the people who should have been there, weren't, and the people who barely knew us brought soup, flowers, comfort. That contrast broke something in me. After the funeral, my mother texted me a single line, hope you're getting through it. We're heading to Cancun next week. Cancun. While I was explaining to my daughter why her dad wouldn't be at her next soccer game, I stopped reaching out after that. I stopped trying to make them care. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stays. The worst part of grief isn't the crying. It's the not crying. When you're too numb for tears, people say, be strong for your daughter. I say, strength isn't silence. Strength is letting your 8-year-old curl up in your lap at 2 a.m. because she can't sleep without her dad's goodnight kiss. I let her talk. I let her grieve. I let her ask hard questions, and when she asked me, Mom, where did Daddy go? I told her the truth. I believed he went to the part of the universe that never forgets love. 3 months passed, then 4. Grief isn't linear. It's a wave. Some days I feel okay. Then I smell his cologne on an old sweater and fall apart all over again. Lily started therapy. So did I. It helped a little that we made new routines. Saturday pancakes in my wonky shapes. Backyard campouts. Drawing. Stars on the ceiling with glow paint. The house felt less like a tomb. More like a home again, not the same. But still ours. Daniel may be gone, but his love didn't vanish with him. It echoes in everything. Lily's giggle, her resilience, the way she insists on real maple syrup. Even now I started journaling again. Writing saved me. Some days it's just a sentence. Other days it's pages. But every word brings me closer to the woman I used to be, and the one I'm becoming. If you've ever been abandoned in your darkest hour, you are not alone. If your grief has been met with silence, you are not broken. If the people who should have shown up disappeared, that's not your fault. You are not unworthy of love just because some people didn't know how to love you. Daniel taught me what love should look like, patient, present, real. I carry that with me now. And I teach it to Lily every day. There were moments I wanted to run. Not physically, but emotionally. Just escape into autopilot. Pay the bills, pack the lunches, nod through conversations, and never really feel anything again. But Lily was watching me, and I didn't want her to grow up learning that grief means disappearing. I wanted her to see that heartbreak doesn't have to harden you, it can open you, too. It can teach you how to love deeper, even after lost. So, I chose to stay at stay in the mess of it. To stay in the tears, the healing, the laughter that sometimes surprised us both. I stayed for the birthdays, the spelling tests, and the way Lily would still ask, do you think Daddy would be proud of me? Every time, I said yes. It's funny how grief reveals people. Some vanish. Others become your lifeline. Ellen, our next-door neighbor, started bringing over lasagna every Thursday. She said nothing at first, just handed me the dish and hugged me tightly. Eventually, she sat with me on the porch in silence. It was the kind of silence that didn't expect anything. My coworker Jasmine organized a carpool so I didn't have to do the morning school drop-off every single day. She told the office, Hannah's carrying a mountain right now. We're going to help her climb. They did. Even Amanda, Daniel's assistant, checked in regularly. She sent photos she found on his work computer. Silly selfies he took at his desk. A sticky note where he doodled our names in a heart. Those were treasures, the people who stepped in didn't try to fix me. They just sat with me in the ache. That's all I needed. One night, a few weeks after Daniel's birthday, I wrote a letter I never planned to send to Dear Mom. I needed you. I needed you when the doctor said, massive heart attack. I needed you when I had to pick out a casket for my husband. I needed you when Lily asked why her grandparents didn't come to the funeral, and you chose a party. A beach. Silence. You didn't just miss Daniel's death. You missed the chance to show up when it mattered. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done waiting. Hannah. I didn't send it. Maybe I will one day. Or maybe not. Some things are better left on paper. Lily's 9th birthday was the hardest milestone yet. She asked if Daddy could still see her from the sky. I told her I believed he could, that love like his didn't just disappear, it transformed. That we baked a cake together. Chocolate, his favorite. Lily insisted on decorating it with blue frosting and dinosaur sprinkles. For Daddy, she said. She blew out her candles and whispered something I couldn't hear. When I asked what she wished for, she smiled sadly and said, a hug from him. That night, after she went to sleep, I cried harder than I had in weeks. But not just from sadness, from awe. That little girl was carrying grief in one hand and joy in the other. She was my reason to keep going. There's a strange guilt that comes with laughter after loss. Like you're betraying the one who's gone, but slowly, I let myself smile again. I let joy back in, even when it arrived with a side of sorrow. Lily and I took a weekend trip to the botanical gardens. She picked wildflowers, and I watched her dance between the tulips. The sun hit her hair just right, and for a moment, I could almost feel Daniel beside me, squeezing my hand like he always did. But that's the thing about grief, it never truly leaves. But neither does love. I realized I didn't have to choose between missing him and living fully. I could do both. And one tells you that the after of grief can be beautiful, too, not in the way it was before, not carefree or easy, but earned. Raw. Brave. I still keep Daniel's photo on the hallway table. I still whisper good morning to it some days. But I also painted the living room. Bought new curtains. Rearranged the furniture. Little by little, this house became ours again. Mine and Lily's. We planted a tree in the backyard for Daniel. A dogwood. Every spring it blossoms, a reminder that life returns, even after the deepest winters. I am not the same woman who picked up the phone that Tuesday morning. I'm stronger, not because I wanted to be, but because I had no choice. I'm softer, too, in all the best ways. I see people differently now. I notice pain quicker. I offer hugs more freely. Grief stripped me down to the core of who I really am. And surprisingly, I like her. I respect her, and I know Daniel would. Too. If you're reading this and you've lost someone, I want you to hear me. You're not broken. You're not weak for crying. You're not alone, even when your family vanishes. Even when the pain feels unbearable. Even when you think you'll never laugh again, you will. It won't be the same laugh. But it will be real, and it will come from a deeper place. Today, Lily helped me hang wind chimes on the porch. She said, when they ring, I think Daddy's saying hi. I nodded and said, I think so too. And as the wind stirred them gently, a soft melody filled the air. I closed my eyes, let the sound wrap around me, and whispered into the breeze, I'm still here, Daniel. Still loving you. Always. A month after Daniel's one-year memorial, I received an envelope in the mail with handwriting I recognized immediately. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a miracle. It was something far more ordinary and yet absolutely extraordinary. The letter had been tucked inside a drawer in his desk at work, discovered when the firm cleared out old files. Amanda sent it with a note, I thought you should have this. I hope it brings you peace. I held the letter like it was glass, breath caught in my throat. My hands trembled as I opened it. If you're reading this, then something has happened, and I didn't make it home. I don't know what took me away, but please know it never took my love. Hannah, thank you for being my home, for the coffee-scented mornings and our ridiculous pancake dance-offs, for Lily's laugh, my favorite sound. If grief ever touches you, I hope you let it teach you just how deeply you loved, and I hope it never makes you forget how deeply you are loved in return. I want you to keep going. Keep living. And when you're ready, keep dreaming with all I am, Daniel. I wept until I couldn't see. But underneath the ache was something new, permission. He had given me a final gift, freedom from the guilt that clung to joy. Permission. To love my life again, I waited until Saturday morning, pancakes flipping on the griddle, sunlight warming the kitchen tiles. Sweetheart, I said gently, I found a letter from Daddy. He wrote it a long time ago, just in case. Lily's eyes grew wide. She held out her small hand. Can I read it? We read it together, her hand gripping mine the whole time. When we finished, she asked, does that mean he's okay? I didn't know how to answer, so I told her what I believed. I think love like his doesn't go away. It becomes part of the world. Part of us. She nodded, then whispered, I'm going to write him back. Later, I found her letter tucked under his picture. Hi Daddy, I got your note. I miss you lots. Guess what? I scored a goal at soccer and Mommy let me eat ice cream for dinner once. I think you'd laugh at that. I love you more than all the stars. Come visit in a dream soon. Love, Lily. It was pure and perfect. Proof that kids carry magic even in mourning. That we started a new tradition that winter, every year, on Daniel's birthday, we hike a short trail he once loved. It's nothing grand, just a winding path near a small lake, quiet and full of pines. But it's ours. We pack his favorite snacks, salted almonds, caramel chocolates, and a thermos of cinnamon tea. At the top, we sit on the old bench and talk to him. Lily tells him about school. I tell him about work, about Ellen's new haircut. About how his tree in the backyard bloomed brighter this year. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we laugh until our bellies hurt. Both feel like prayers. At the end, we throw wildflower seeds into the wind. A small rebellion against the idea that something has to last forever to matter.